My name is Daniel Mercer, and until last winter I never believed in anything paranormal. When all this happened, I was a 31-year-old computer technician living in Seattle, Washington. I thought all true horror stories were just urban legends told online for views. I wish that was still the case. Everything started on January 9th, 2024. At exactly 4:11 a.m., I know the time because I saw it on the microwave clock when I went to the kitchen for water. My girlfriend, Claire Donovan, was asleep in the bedroom. Our apartment faced an alley behind Pike Place Market, a narrow road with dumpsters, weak streetlights, and the occasional stray cat digging through takeout containers. What I saw wasn't a cat. From the sink window, I noticed a man standing across the alley, staring directly at my window. He looked average at first, medium build, black hoodie, hands in pockets. Something about how motionless he was felt off, like someone had hit pause on a video frame. I don't know how long he had been there before I noticed him. I leaned closer, expecting him to look away or pretend he wasn't staring, but he didn't. That made me uneasy, so I shut off the kitchen light. I thought the darkness would make me feel less visible, but as soon as the lights went off, I watched his head tilt, following my movement like he could still see me. I went back to bed telling myself it was just a random creeper. It's Seattle, weird stuff happens. By morning, I had convinced myself it never happened. The next night, around the same time, 4:11 a.m. again, I woke up without knowing why. This time I brought a glass of water to bed so I wouldn't need to go to the kitchen. But curiosity made me check through the blinds anyway. He was there. Same spot, same posture, same hoodie. But this time his hands weren't in his pockets. They were clasped together in front of him like he was waiting. I jolted awake fully and called the police. 2 officers came, 1 male, 1 female. They did a sweep of the alley. No man, no footprints in the frost. Nothing. I apologized, embarrassed. The male officer gave me the standard "call us again if he returns" line. But the female officer looked bothered, like something about my story wasn't routine. When they left, I couldn't go back to sleep, and Claire was annoyed the cops had woken her. I didn't tell her why I'd called them. I didn't want her thinking I was having some kind of breakdown. And the third night, I tried to stay awake. I was scared to see if he'd return, but more scared not knowing. Around 3:50 a.m., Claire woke up screaming. Not yelling, screaming with a pitch I'd never heard from her. She was sitting upright in bed, eyes wide open, staring toward the bedroom doorway. "What?" I shouted, shaking her. She snapped out of it like she'd been underwater. She said someone had been standing in the doorway, but she'd only seen him for a second. I asked what he looked like. She hesitated. His head was tilted. Those were her exact words. She had never seen the man. During the day, I installed a wise security camera pointing at the alley. I checked the recording that afternoon, nothing. At night, the 4th, I fell asleep on the couch so I'd be closer to the camera feed on my phone. At 4:06 a.m., the camera's motion notification pinged. I checked the feed, static, lots of it. The alley lights flickered on and off, and the timestamp froze at 4:11 a.m. in big green numbers, even though it wasn't 4:11 yet. Then, through the static, a blade-thin silhouette stood in the middle of the alley. No hoodie this time, just a tall, black shape, like a shadow pinned to a wall. Before I could screenshot it, the feed cut. When it came back, the alley was empty. I told Claire about it the next morning. I expected her to call me insane, but instead she said quietly, "I heard someone whispering my name last night." I started researching. I read threads on Reddit, watched paranormal channels, listened to podcasts. Nothing matched, except one obscure comment on a forum about the 4:11 visitors. Entities seen between 4:11 and 4:13 a.m., always outside windows. The commenter claimed they appear before a disappearance. It sounded made up, but the detail about the time shook me. That night, which was the 5th night, I armed myself with a metal baseball bat and waited. At 4:11, I checked the blinds. He was closer. Not in the alley, beneath our fire escape. Hood up, head tilted again, except this time his face wasn't shadowed. I could make out his features, gray skin like wet concrete, eyes too wide and too reflective, and a long, narrow mouth that never moved. I screamed for Claire to call 911. She ran into the living room, half asleep. By the time she looked outside, the man was gone. The police arrived again, same officers. This time, when the male officer went back outside, the female officer stayed behind with us. She asked a strange question. "What time did you see him?" When I said the time, she didn't hide her reaction. She just nodded like she already knew. Before leaving, she pulled me aside and said, "He's not looking at you." I asked what she meant, but she just shook her head and rejoined her partner. Claire asked what she told me, but I lied and said nothing. We agreed not to stay another night. Sixth night, we started packing. By 10 p.m., the apartment was filled with half-open boxes and suitcases. We decided to sleep until morning and leave at first light. That didn't happen. At 4:11 a.m., every electronic device in the apartment powered on at once. Laptops, phones, TV, even the toaster oven's digital screen lit up with 411 in glowing numbers. Claire started crying, not like she was scared, like she was in pain. She kept saying over and over, "He's calling me. I can hear him." I grabbed her and tried to force her out of bed, but she went rigid, staring at the wall. Then I heard it too. A voice, muffled as if underwater, from somewhere near the living room window. Not speaking English, not speaking anything human, just intoning. The voice got louder until the window shook. The last thing I remember before I blacked out was Claire standing up on her own and walking toward the living room. Silent and compliant, like she was sleepwalking. I woke up in the hospital 3 days later. Claire was missing. No forced entry. No signs of struggle. Nothing on the cameras. No witness reports. Her phone was left behind. Her shoes were still under the bed. The police treated it like a domestic disappearance at first, until the female officer vouched for me and asked them to expand the search. They combed Seattle, then surrounding areas, Tacoma, Everett, Bellevue. Nothing. A week later, I logged into the Wise Camera Cloud account to re-watch the feed from that night. I assumed it would be corrupted like before, but it wasn't. It played perfectly, right up until 4:11 a.m. Then the timestamp froze. The footage glitched, colors inverted, then went black. For 12 full seconds. When the feed came back, Claire was gone. But the window reflected something from inside the living room. A silhouette beside the couch, head tilted, watching the camera. The police took the footage as evidence. They never returned it. 6 months later, I moved out of Seattle. I changed phones, numbers, everything. The police still label Claire as a missing person, but no one has any real hope. 2 weeks ago, at 4:11 a.m., I woke up without an alarm. Not screaming, just wide awake like someone had tapped my forehead from the inside. My phone was face up on the nightstand. The screen lit up. Motion detected, front door camera. I don't have a front door camera. The notification wasn't from my current security app. It was from the old Wise app I deleted months ago and never reinstalled. The feed opened automatically. Claire was standing outside the door. She looked the same. Same clothes. Same expression. But something about her eyes wasn't Claire. Too reflective, too wide. Her head tilted slowly, like it wasn't attached right. Then she smiled, but her mouth didn't move. Only the skin stretched. The feed ended. The timestamp froze at 4:11 a.m., and underneath in small text I'd never seen in the app before. Visitor detected, who should we call? I haven't slept since... If anyone online knows anything about the 411 thing, or if you've seen anyone like this, please comment. I need to know I'm not the only one. Because last night, there was another notification. Not from the door. From inside the living room. And I live on the 7th floor. The shadows are watching. Will you return for more? Like and subscribe if you want to hear the voices that whisper in the dark.